Hi, my name is Claudia and today I want to do a first impression of this palette. Right here is the Makeup Revolution, the True Icon palette. I got this palette a few days ago but haven't gotten a chance to test it out, so I want to do some looks with this palette today. And apparently, like, if you know about this palette, I think it's been released for a few months already and people have been talked about this palette. Is a dupe of the Patrick Ta Major Dimension 2 eyeshadow palette. Is the rosy, very pinky tone palette. And Patrick Ta has been a brand that recently has been really hyped up. I'm not sure if hype is a right word, but like people have talked about it quite a lot because they have released eyeshadow duos that cost $42. And I was like, okay, like $42 for a duo is definitely expensive, but I'm not surprised because Patrick Ta is a high-end brand, and along the line with like Hourglass or Western Atelier or Chantecaille, I would group them together as really luxurious and high-end brands. Like, I don't differentiate between all luxury and then high-end brand, department store brands or Sephora brands. So I was like 42, like I'm disappointed by the price, but I would never get those duos, so it doesn't matter whether the price is high or not. And when I know that this palette is available in Australia at Priceline, I was like, if I can make a point that this palette is a dupe for the bigger eyeshadow palette, which cost $70 US, I believe, it's around like 120 Australian dollar, which is so expensive. If I can make a point that this palette is a dupe that cost me only $9, 9 Australian dollars, I got it on sale as well. So what is the value of an eyeshadow? What is the value of the Patrick Ta eyeshadow or eyeshadow palette? I really want to test this out for that reason. So, and right in the beginning, I wanted to try the Patrick Ta shadow palette. I want to try the formula. I think the fact that it has like cream shades like this, also matte shades, and the very sparkly shimmer shades, I think the format is quite fascinating, and I wanted to try the Patrick Ta palette, I have to admit. But I think to make sense out of a decision to buy an eyeshadow palette, I go for this one first. If I still like the color story, if I still feel like the cooperations of the cream and the matte and the shimmer eyeshadows does make sense to me in this context of this color story, maybe I would try the more expensive version of it. And I think this palette, at the first glance, is quite beautiful. It's so beautiful though. Like, all of these sparkly, like, it's a bit like squishy, like molten, a bit textured shades. Really, really beautiful. I'm just a bit afraid that the color story is a bit deep and a bit pink for me at the moment, but I'll try to make it work. And I might use some cream shades in today's looks. And obviously the packaging is not as good as that in the Patrick Ta one, so I was like, okay, I won't get that luxury, beautiful, like the rose gold, really, really slick and expensive packaging. I had one blush duo, so that compact feels really, really nice. So I think the packaging is not up there. Like, they have this ghost gold detail, but it's a drugstore, so you didn't pay that high price for the packaging, and obviously you couldn't get that feeling. And it doesn't have like the window, like the door that separates the creams from the powder. I'm not sure, like, and I don't have any experience with a mixed formulation kind of packaging. I've never have any like duos or palettes that have cream and powder at the same time, so I don't know how dirty the cream might get. But I need to peel off this protector. Like at first I thought I could, oh, maybe I can keep it and just try to like protect it from the powder, but then it's very inconvenient to like lift it open and use the cream shade. So I think yeah, that's what you get for paying $9 for a palette like this. I'm gonna dip into the shade right here. It doesn't have any shade names, to be honest, but it's the lighter, more of a dusty rose. Whoa, it's very pigmented, and it's, whoa, it's very pigmented. Oh my god, it's very emollient. I can tell right now. It's like a dewy. Whoa, it's very pigmented. It's a very dewy emollient formula. It, so far I've been applying it to my crease for like 30 seconds and I don't think it has set down yet. Whoa, oh my god, like I keep tapping it off, trying to like remove the product from the brush. Jeez, this is so pigmented. Okay, I'm sorry, this is kind of a user error because I don't have much experience dealing with cream eyeshadow, let alone this kind of like pigmented full saturations kind of formulation. So I think I messed it up a little bit. I don't think I can blend the edge out, so I think I'm gonna take it out. I'm gonna take some product off of this look and replan it. Like, and this is totally user error, like because I don't have any experience with cream eyeshadows. It's on me. Okay, I managed to clean it up a little bit, and yeah, first impressions of the cream eyeshadow. The shade in particular in this palette is very pigmented, a little bit. It's gonna go a very long way, so you don't need a lot. Don't be like me, start with a little bit. I don't know, this shade doesn't look really dark on the pan, and I don't know why did I assume that it's gonna be a quite sheer and beautiful kind of pigment. I don't know, but I managed to save it, which is, I think it's quite good. For this eye, I want to go in the rosy, a bit mauvey, like a dusty road kind of look. So I'm dipping my brush into the matte shade to deepen up a little bit and to lead it towards that pink rosy direction. Oh, it's very pigmented. The matte shade is very pigmented. When you layer it on top of the cream eyeshadow, and yeah, I think it's how it works. Like if you have like an oil base or a water based one, and then you stick a powder on top, the powder will absorb the moisture, and it does appear to be darker than it actually is. But I like it. I like the fact that you can set your cream eyeshadow with a powder eyeshadow and make the look more saturated, like to give it a bit more of impact. I like this color. It's just I messed up the cream eyeshadow, and then my edge is a bit harsh. Like this outer corner part is quite harsh. I definitely want my edge to be more diffused than this, but I think it does still look pretty good, so I don't mind. There's so many beautiful shades in the palette I want to try. There's like a dual chrome right here with a very strong lime green, yellow, and pink shade, and then it flips back to like this very magenta pink shade that looks so gorgeous. But maybe I'll do something very simple with this look, and I'm going to use this shade on the other eye. So I'm using my finger with the shade, so you can tell the formulation is very crumbly. And you know this kind of like texture, I'm not sure you can tell from the appearance of it, but it's very crumbly. It's not smooth and molten and metallic, but it's gonna be very, very sparkly and very scattered. And I do enjoy these formulations a lot. Can't really tell, it does look very wet looking. It does look really good. It's kind of bold for my liking at the moment, but the look is, it's really good. It's so beautiful. I love shimmer with like a lot of sparkles, and it is just like right in my alley. Like it gives me like a wet looking kind of space cowboy translucent base with a lot of glitter, but like fine and cohesive glitters in it. It does look really nice. It makes me wonder like how different it is from this kind of formulations, or say Clionadh stained glass collections, or the Australis palettes that I have from the Patrick Ta jewels that are $42. $42. I cannot even imagine how much it would be in Australian dollars. Like I think at one point it would be available at Sephora in Australia, but like I cannot fathom how much would they charge for those jewels, because like you know you have the GST, you have the import tax. It's gonna add up, and that would be an insane price tax for jewels. So I think I can live with this. This is beautiful enough for me. Maybe. Like I said, on this eye I want to try this duochrome. The shift of this shade is so beautiful. Like it's so vibrant and so like in your face. It's so pronounced. It's a bit crumbly though, but like I would expect that kind of finish, like that kind of effect from a formulation like this, because I have tried this formulation before, and I think it's very standard to have that very like crumbly and texture feeling. Not sure if you can tell. I'm gonna apply it directly to my eye, and then I'm gonna buff the edge out with another matte shade. I'm not gonna use any cream eyeshadow on this eye. Oh my god. This is so ethereal. This is unreal. I don't have any shade like this in my collections, or if I do have the same tone, I don't have this kind of shift at all. Yeah, it has like the pink glitter, and then in a way you can see like the golden, almost lime green glitter from another angle, and it has this like nude beige but almost translucent base that makes the lime green and the pink almost too stand out in front of the base. Let's use this shade right here and blend the edges out. I feel like I don't have to use any matte. I can use this as a one and done, but I want to test out like a couple of matte shades, a couple of shimmer shade, and one cream shade, because this is a first impression either way. I'm gonna give you like a full review, or I have an idea of comparing this formula to the BH Cosmetics all formula, like not all. I think they kind of went out of business, not sure about that, but you can still find some of the BH Cosmetic palettes available on the Revolution website. So I want to do that kind of comparisons, because I've heard that they might have used the BH Cosmetics good, solid, gorgeous formula in their new palettes. I'm not sure how accurate it is, so it's kind of inspired me to do that kind of video, like to see this formula is any different. Right off the bat, I can tell that the shimmers are very different. The BH Cosmetics one is more of a traditional, very metallic, very smooth, and very like darker and more opaque in terms of the base of an eyeshadow. These are like translucent base with a lot of sparkle and shimmers in it. It's not very similar in my opinion, but the matte may be similar, but maybe some of the effects on the eye might be similar. So maybe there's a good point of comparing those formula. I'm not sure, but that's a plan, and I want to do like a maybe more looks with this palette. And the main goal is to test out as many shades as possible, especially the other cream shades, because it's a darker shade, and I don't know, maybe I'm gonna mess it up, but I want to try it to see if I messed it up or not. So this is the 2 looks that I've just created with the new to me, the True Icon Makeup Revolutions. Just one note. Is it Revolution or Makeup Revolution? It just said Revolution here. Revolution in the back. Is it still Makeup Revolution or just Revolution now? It doesn't matter. Doesn't really matter. How do you think of the looks? Do you think it's good? Do you think it's mediocre? Do you think it's not what you expect this kind of palette to be? I am very impressed. Like, I know this palette is gonna be good. It's a color story that I've been wanting to try. Although it's a dupe from the Patrick Ta Major Dimension 2 palettes, it's the rose, reddish, pink kind of a color story that I know I quite enjoy. And looking at the swatch, looking at some videos, looking at some reviews of it, I know that I'm gonna like this palette. And I do a lot. And getting it at a discounted price, oh, I think this is a huge achievement in my makeup collections so far this year. And I really enjoy, even like today, just to sit down and do 2 looks with it. It's a ride. It's a ride with the cream shade, but it's really good to capture how I learned about this palette on footage. Once again, I'm Claudia, and hopefully we'll see each other again. Bye!